guys. I wanted to come to you from my car today. We're gonna do a car chronicles. How fun is that? I didn't want to use the excuse of my day kind of getting away from me to not get my video done. I have a goal of doing these every week, at least until my podcast gets started, which is coming up the end of November. But I want to keep up with my goal of doing this every week, so you guys get to hear from me from the car this week. I wanted to talk to you guys today on this wonderful Monday about getting things done and the overwhelm that we feel sometimes with our to-do list, which has been a common theme for a lot of my clients this last couple weeks. And just kind of go with me here. Tell me if you have ever felt like you have like a whole list of things that you want to do, but when you finally have the time to get to it, then you don't know where to begin, or you don't feel like doing it anymore. And I hear this so many times from my clients, and I can relate to it myself. So many times when we have these thoughts come up, then we think something has gone wrong. And I want to tell you that nothing has gone wrong, especially when we start to feel that overwhelm with the things that we have going on in our life or the projects that we have on our list. Okay, nothing has gone wrong. Instead, your brain is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing, and it's just being efficient, because it's making sure that we don't expend too much energy where it's not critical. And so sometimes our to-do list or the projects that we have, our brain is saying, that's not important. That's not going to keep you alive today. It's not going to keep you safe. So we need to make sure that we understand that and have compassion for ourselves when we have those thoughts come up for ourselves. That is totally fine, and it's our brain functioning just as it should be. So let's just bring up a project that maybe you've been wanting to do. It's been on your to-do list for a while, and maybe it's been, like, for example, maybe cleaning out your kids' closets or their toys, and wanting to redo or redecorate the playroom. Okay, maybe that's been on your list for a long time. Now, if you think about it, that's a non-emergency thing. Like, that's just something that, I mean, is a great luxury almost, and that's kind of what our brain has done, is made it sound like it's just a luxury, so it's not anything important that we need to do. And if you don't do it today, then there's no major consequences. Along those lines, it's not to mention that when you're doing these big projects, it's going to require you to be creative. It's going to require thinking and strategizing, and your brain, trying to conserve that energy, is going to say, no, we can't do that right now. And it's going to want to think of, trying to keep us safe by not having to be uncomfortable or have to think outside of the box. So your mind decides it's not critical and it's not efficient, and it talks you out of doing it. So what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do in these moments? And don't worry, I've got you. I've got some ideas and some tips for you. So first, I want you to understand that your lack of action doesn't mean that you are lazy or that anything has gone wrong. Beating yourself up will only add to your lack of desire to even get started in the first place. So step number one is to do some pre-planning of your goals. Goals in general, especially if they're big goals, and this whole idea can be used for anything, but we're going to use it with this playroom idea. Whatever the goal is, you need to break it down, and you need to make it bite-sized so that it's a little bit more manageable and easier for you to think about. Because when you think about the end result at the very beginning, it can seem overwhelming and kind of daunting. And we'll have those moments where we want to just indulge in confusion and not sure how to do something, which of course is going to just keep us stuck there, and we're going to keep revolving in that area. So we want to make it a little bit more understandable for our thoughts to attach to. So first thing is to attach a date to the end result. Make a deadline. We've heard this so many times with our goals, but we never do it, or we rarely ever do it. At least I don't. So for instance, say you want to have it done by the end of October. You want to have this playroom done, okay? Then you start to work backwards, okay? Well, what's half of that time? Well, that'd be a week from now. So what do you want to have done in a week from now? And you just start to break it down. And that way it's a little bit more achievable, and you'll see success in the small areas, which will ultimately lead up to the big steps of it being completed, being done, which is what our ultimate goal is, right? Each week you would sit down and set out the mini goals that you have. So say for instance, this week you're going to work on organizing the toy bins, getting rid of, purging all the extra toys that you have in the toy bins. Week 2, you're going to do the bookshelves and rearrange the furniture, okay? It just depends on how much time that you are going to allow yourself to do this. then this is my favorite thing to do. And yes, this is something that's going to take a little bit of time, but sit down and put it in your calendar. Now, I used to be a digital person, and I still am. I still have a digital calendar, but I've gotten to the point now where I have a paper calendar on top of my digital calendar. My paper calendar has time listed out by 15-minute increments. That way I can really get nitty and gritty with my time and really set parameters and boundaries around what I'm going to be doing. So sit down and really list out how much time each of the items is going to take and what days you're going to get it done. Then you have to hold yourself accountable to your calendar. Just like anything else, we hold, if somebody else puts a time limit on us, we are so good at living up to that time, but for ourselves, we don't. So that's the key. That's the key to getting goals completed and getting out of overwhelm in our daily lives. Break it down, calendar out, list your obstacles, and then next to it, list the strategies. And the strategies are going to be even that you're going to research on how to do something. That is a strategy instead of indulging in that overwhelm or the confusion. Okay, and I want you guys to stop having these undone projects and start being able to complete them. Just having them in your calendar, even if it's a month out from getting something completed, will give you so much relief because you know that it's scheduled to be done, which is huge. So sit down today, list out the projects that maybe you've had on your to-do list for a long time. What can you calendar out today to be completed by the end of 2018? That's a huge thing by the end of 2018. And believe me when I say you can have several goals completed by the end of 2018. I have so many that I have listed out, calendared in my calendar book, and I will hold myself accountable. Okay, so I would love to hear from you guys. What projects do you have going on and that you are committing today to have completed? And what steps are you going to take to have them completed? This is the end of 2018. Let's go out strong and make it the best ever. We'll talk to you guys later.